It's the Tony Tone Show on Vintage Sound 93.1 FM on Friday, and really excited to talk to this next guest on the MPW Digital TV Celebrity Hotline. I've been a fan of his for a long time. You can watch him Sunday nights on ABC with the return of America's Funniest Home Videos. It's Alfonso Ribeiro. Hello.
Hello.
This is Tony Tone, and you are live on the radio in the great state of Iowa right now, my friend.
My great state, my other great state of Iowa, yes.
I know. So go ahead.
My in-laws are from Iowa.
How about it?
You know, I've got a lot of love and a lot of family there. So, you know, Iowa's my second home.
I was going to say, so we're in Muscatine, which is not that far. I think your wife grew up in, like, Winfield, so like 30, 40 miles.
Yeah, Swedesburg is the specific, but yeah. But no, we have family in Muscatine also.
You do?
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yep. Well, I mean, you know, James is probably listening to the radio right now, wondering how I'm talking to him through the radio.
So we have to say hello to James in Muscatine from Alfonso Ribeiro.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, listen.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so interesting, Alfonso, because I grew up in Oak Park outside of Chicago. I went to school at St. Ambrose in Davenport, Iowa. Have been on the radio in Iowa. My wife's from Muscatine. Been around this town for about 4 years now. I love it here. And it's just so cool to talk to somebody like yourself that will watch on TV and to know that you've been where we live. That's very cool for us.
I've gone in the river there. Went water skiing and all of that. So, you know, I know it well, and I mean, I know there's Rock Island, and I used to race go-karts back in the day, and I used to come out there to Rock Island to do the little go-kart race out there, and so, you know, strangely enough, I know the area very well.
So basically, we're like best friends at this point, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Well, I have to say, if we back up for a second, I've been a fan of yours for a while, and we definitely have to talk about America's Funniest Home Videos, which is something, Alfonso, that was just, we watched it in my, you know, it's been in my life for a long time. This is season 27. I'm 33. So my entire, you know, basically my entire existence, I've been able to watch people do dumb stuff on TV and laugh my butt off at it. I love it.
Absolutely. And it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful that a show like this can exist on TV and stay on TV for this long, with a most watched, you know, co-watched show on TV, and that to me says an awful lot about what this show is. It's really about, you know, people sitting down with their family members and enjoying you know, TV together, and TV has become so separated. You know, everybody is, you know, you go and you watch your show, and there's, you know, shows for kids that adults don't like, and then there's shows that adults like and kids are not supposed to watch. But AFV, everybody can sit together. Everybody does, and that's how we watch the show, and it's pretty cool and pretty special.
And it's totally come full circle for me because I have a 4-year-old and an almost 2-year-old. And you're absolutely right, Alfonso. This is a show that I can put on with the kids and know that it's you know, it's never going to be something that concerns me that they're watching. And that is so comforting as a parent to be able to say that in 2016, you know?
Absolutely. That is so important. You know, we are becoming, you know, so separated as a society that we're never really having the opportunity to enjoy stuff with our kids. And you know, AFV is the last of that, and so it's fun when you're able to do it, and it's important. You know, if the kids are going to have the TV on, you know, you kind of have to watch them anyway, but you want to be able to do it with them. You know, and why should it be painful, right? But it's AFV is the least painful way that you can enjoy TV with your kids.
Plus, I can only handle so much more Paw Patrol. Oh my Lord! I mean, let me tell you.
Well, yeah, you know, I get it. I get it. I always say on our house, in our house, it's either movies that we've DVR'd or it's Disney Channel. That, you know, one of the many Disney channels. So that's a constant at our house.
Well, maybe you'll show up on like you know, Lion Guard or something. I don't know, but with AFV. It's been around, and it's been so well hosted, and Bob Saget and Tom Bergeron, and I personally have to say, and I mean this, because of, and I don't know you personally, but the path that your career has had and how you've always conducted yourself, I couldn't have thought of a better host for AFV than when you took it over in 2015 or whatever. You've done such a great job. The transition from Bergeron has been smooth, and you bring, I don't know, man, I like your personality a lot, and I think you've done an outstanding job thus far. I hope you never leave the show, is what I'm saying.
Well, I'll say this. My goal has been to do one season longer than Tom Bergeron. And Tom did 15 years, so I'm looking to go 16 years. And then at that point, I'll start thinking about whether I want to leave or not. But until then,
I love it.
I'm there.
Don't go anywhere. So a question that I have, and I haven't had the opportunity to talk to Tom Bergeron or Bob Saget yet, but so I watch AFV for a while. Is it part of the deal that the audience has to be dressed up? Is that how it's always been?
I think it's always been that way. They want to, the thing, if you remember, like back in the day, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but at least you'll see it on shows. When they did game shows that were on TV or any of those shows, people got dressed up and went to the show. And I think that that's kind of still what we try to hold on to. And I think it's the right way of doing it anyway, because who wants to watch a bunch of people who are just like looking like slobs on TV? It just is not a good look. So at the end of the day, getting dressed up and having people look nice it's the better way to shoot it.
Well, it makes sense now that you've said that. I've just always wondered about that. And another compliment I have to pay you, and I don't know what the future holds for Unwrapped 2.0, but that was, that's a show that I've enjoyed. And again, you come in and you do a great job. Are there plans for more episodes of Unwrapped 2.0 or what?
Unwrapped 2.0 actually premieres this Sunday night on the Cooking Channel.
Awesome.
At 9 Eastern. So, yeah, our third season is coming to you this weekend. So yeah, it's coming back. It's continuing, and the network is very happy with the show, and the show keeps getting better each season. So we've already shot about 8 of them. So
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is so great. It's so much fun to watch, and I don't want to dwell on it because you talk about it often in these interviews. But Fresh Prince was another show that we watched with my mom, Sheila, who's probably listening right now, and my brother Phil and I growing up. We would watch Fresh Prince, and I wonder, Alfonso, at the time, and it was a while ago, and Fresh Prince comes on, and it's a hit. Did you think that it would impact so many people's lives as you were making the show? You
can obviously never think that that's what's going to happen.
Sure.
But what we did feel is we were very creative, and we were all adding our input, and we worked on the show like it would be an impactful show.
Okay.
We never planned for it, but that's how we worked on it. So like when we were one of the first shows to actually sit down with the producers and writers and talk about the script. Normally the actors act, the writers write, produce, everybody stays in their lane. We would sit there and say, a black family wouldn't do this. Or, if we're going to talk about this subject, let's talk about it, and let's be real,
sure.
And let's not talk about what the black experience is like from a white person's perspective. Let's talk about it from the black perspective and what we go through and what we think and what we feel. And James Avery played a huge role in that, having, the most experience on the show, and he was incredibly knowledgeable. And so we made sure that we didn't tell those stories, from a perspective that wasn't, real truth.
And that's exactly how what I took away from it growing up was that it taught me a lot. It was very funny, but there were some episodes that were very heavy as a viewer to take on. And it seems like a Fresh Prince has a lot of themes that people could benefit from watching in 2016. I almost wish that they would just, and it's obviously on in reruns, but just put it back on during primetime and watch it help people all these years later. It was so great.
Well, it absolutely is a show that really moved the needle back then. We touched on things, and we were very true. And I feel like the one thing that we always did was we would dive into a heavy subject, but we made sure we ended it with some comedy.
Right.
You know, there were very few episodes that were heavy and stayed heavy. Like, it was heavy, and then we were like, and then, you know, the comic relief. So you would get the message in, but you would also really still make people laugh at the end of the day.
I just got off the phone with Maureen McCormick before you joined us, and she's obviously doing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's doing Dancing with the Stars and having some success. Just briefly, Alfonso, your experience, obviously, well, it went well for you. When you got to Dancing with the Stars, did you think you kind of had an idea of what dancing was like, and then it blew your mind, or what? How was that for you?
Well, you know, I'd been a fan of the show from the inception.
Yeah.
So I love it. I know the show. I've had friends that have been on the show. And the reality is, once you know what the show is, you know how difficult it's going to be.
Sure.
And I was aware of that. And yes, this is the most grueling, difficult show anyone will ever do. But I was aware of it. I knew what I was, you know, in for, but I was like, hey, I'm willing to do it. The funny part of it was I went on vacation and was like out of shape, and I was the heaviest I'd been in many years, and you know. And then I get the phone call, hey, we want you this year. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm so out of shape. So I was starting off in a really bad spot.
Well, you did so well with it. And listen, I want to say thank you for your time. And I know you have to do a couple more interviews. And I hope everybody is watching America's Funniest Home Videos, which is, 6 o'clock Central for us Sunday nights on ABC. And the next time you're in the Muscatine area, we'd love to show you around, and all the best to you and the family, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alfonso Ribeiro.
See you in Iowa.
Have a great weekend, okay?
You too, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.